What's going on, people? And today is the day that I start my journey to becoming a better duelist. What do I mean by this? Well, now that COVID restrictions have started to go away and now that I'm fully vaccinated, I want to go ahead and go to my locals, see how it is, try and get better. I actually, for the record, did go last week. I brought sealed only and I got trounced. So instead, we're going to be bringing a much more competent deck this week. I want to document my journey as I go through locals, as I've never really done a Yu-Gi-Oh! Locals before. I did a lot of Magic back in like 2019, because that's when I was like really big into the game and stuff. But never Yu-Gi-Oh! There wasn't really a scene back where I lived back then, and there wasn't really a scene in my college town either, so I couldn't really get the chance to play it IRL. I was stuck with like Dueling Book and Edo Pro, which, at the time before Sealed Only, I wasn't too hot on just because I think online simulators are not as fun as the real thing. With that being said, let's cut this tangent to a close. I want you guys to join me on my journey as I go and try and do some Yu-Gi-Oh! Alright, and here's the deck profile for what we're taking locals. So this week I'm playing BA. Is actually the first Yu-Gi-Oh! Deck that I truly built that was like an actual real deck and not like the hodgepodge I threw together when I was, like 8 years old. So let's see what we got here. So we're working with 3 tour guides, mismatched rarities and languages actually, but that's okay because, they're not gold rare, so that's fine. Of course, you got your triple Graph, of course, and he's in gold rare as well. Triple Seer, very glad these are all unbanned. Then, of course, we got triple Skarm, Searcher, gets what you need to do. Triple Farfa, one turn banish is always great. Get those Xyz materials off of their Zeuses, you know what I'm saying? Of course, for the one of BAs, we got the one Barbar, one Alec, one Calcab, one Libic. Then for the non-BAs, we got 2 Fiendish. We have 1 Ash Blossom, just because I only own the 1 Ash Blossom. I wish it wasn't the feat art, but we get what we get. Got the 1 of Backjack, he's such a powerful card. Foolish Burial, of course, required in the deck. Called by the Grave, that's for mainly protecting our tour guides, as we can use it to stop them from ashing us, which is nice. Double Imperm. We got triple Fiend Griefing. We got triple Needle Sealing. Triple Torrential. I got 2 Solemn Strikes and a Solemn Judgment. That's simply because I only have 2 Solemn Strikes. Yeah, very funny. Triple Dynamiscus. I think I brought this up before. This card looks like the Sharingan. Yeah. Oh well. And finally, Triple Trap Trick. That is the Searcher for the Trap card. It's pretty powerful. Anyway, that rounds off the main deck. Let's look at our extra deck, shall we? Whoops. So for our extra deck, of course, we're running Purple Dante. Even though it's become more of a thing, they still don't expect it. Surprising, I know. Double Dante, of course, in the gold rare as well, because gold rare is best rare. You gotta bling it out. 1 Beatrice in maximum gold rarity. Then we got the 1 of Break Sword, of course. We have a 1 of Fortune Tune. And finally, a 1 of Gram Pulse. So this is pretty good because it's spot removal for spell traps. It's fine. It's going to get cut once I get better extra deck monsters. Get on to links. So for link 2 is running Nightmare Phoenix, IP Masquerena, very powerful card for interacting on your opponent's turn. Cherubini, again, obligatory Burning Abyss deck. Nightmare Unicorn, very powerful to spin something back. We have an Appaloosa. Probably not going to go on that too much just because it's kind of hard to make in this deck. We have our Mekk-Knight City Avermax, also kind of difficult to make because generally your Dantes are going to be from the graveyard, so you only have like 1 extra deck monster at a time, but it's whatever. Boral Sword Dragon, just because I have it, and then a Topologic Zeraboros as our win condition. Now normally in this deck, in the extra deck, you want to run Zeus's, you want to run the Code Talker, and you want to run Utopic Future Draco, or Utopic Draco Future, wherever they translate it as. Unfortunately, I don't have the money for Access Code or Zeus at the moment. Hopefully the Megatons will rectify that. And I'm looking to pick up a Draco Future, I just haven't found one yet. So this will definitely change as time goes on, but it's what I have now. And finally, the side deck. So we have Triple Lancia, very good for stopping their Tribe Gate plays, which is the most popular deck at my locals currently. Triple Ghost Spell, very powerful hand track in this format. Same with Triple Droll and Lock as well. Triple Twin Twisters for back row removal. In my power 1-ofs, we have the Duster. Of course, you want that for the back row removal. Any sort of monkey deck, or even against a lot of the decks that just set stuff as well. Imperial Order, incredibly powerful. really sticks it to Drytrons and the Pendulum player that's at my locals as well. And finally, the one of Lightning Storm, because again, I only have one, but it kind of fits the niche of like Raigeki and Harpy's Feather Duster. It's essentially a second copy of Feather Duster that can also be a Raigeki in my side deck. I'd love to pick up more at some point, but again, a little pricey right now. But yeah, so we're going to be taking to locals. Hopefully I can do well this week. I'll see you guys there. Alright, and we are off to locals. And let me know how this vloggy stuff is doing. I'm not quite used to it, so if you got any pointers, let me know. Also, make sure to wear your mask, kiddos, even if you're vaccinated. Delta variant's no joke, and yeah, stay safe out there. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is not worth it if you're not feeling good. For our first match of the week, we go second against a normal monster deck. Unfortunately, they brick and have to set 1 pass. We start by being true to the namesake of Warcrime BA and set 4 pass.
I'm already up to rough starts. Oh, you also had one of those hands?
No, this is what my deck's supposed to do. On their turn, they just have to make a card trader and pass. Circle back to us, Seer, attack for 1600. On his turn, he brings out a Cosmo Brine, and we Solemn Strike it. On our turn, we hit him for 1300. On the end phase, he brings out a Dragon Spirit of White and banishes one of our trap cards. On our next turn, we go into a Cherubini, send a Graph, and special summon a Seer. Then we go into a Break Sword, pop one of our back row to pop his dragon. He necrofuses into a dragon monster that is unaffected by monster effects. What does that get?
First, the dragons can only be destroyed by normal monsters and unaffected by monster effects.
We're able to clear it out with the Deinamiscus. Then 1 turn later, we attack for game. Hit for 1000, correct? And then hit for 500. Game 2, he goes first. He summons an Alexandrite dragon, equips it with a dragon shield, and passes. On our turn, we Bay a combo and end on an IP with a Beatrice. His turn, he's able to make a Cosmo Brain. We detach and a Farfetch'd to banish his Cosmo Brain. We quick effect Link into a unicorn and shuffle back his Alexandrite. This may have been an illegal play, not sure. He ends his turn by Dark Holing. We end up winning the match a few turns later by smacking him with a Tour Guide and a Break Sword. 5 as well. 6. 4. I will take play. We start our second match by winning the die roll against Firefist Tri-Brigade, so we decide to go first. We set 4 and we pass. On his turn, we Judgment his Keras. He is able to make the Firefist Link 2, and he bounces his Tenki back to his hand. He activates his Buffalo, and we respond with a Fiend Griefing, sending our Skarm to shuffle back the Buffalo. He summons the Firefist Bear, and we Needle Sealing him for 4, sending all of them to the graveyard. We're able to banish his Ferrijit with our Deinamiscus. Now, we were both unaware of the fact that you need a Tri-Brigade on field to banish them and Link summon, but no big deal, it was a good time. He goes into the Tri-Brigade Link 4 and hits me for game due to the fact that I lost life off of the Solemn Judgment. So on the match 2, I go first again. We start off by going into a Cherubini, we send our Graph to the graveyard special Seer. Then we end the turn by setting 2 and pass. On his turn, he goes into his Firefist Link 4, and we imperm its effect. He then hits into our Cherubini, and we send Seer to protect it, and then we summon a Skarm. On our turn, we go into a Break Sword, popping my back row and his Xyz. Then we go into a Phoenix and pop his Tensu, and we attack him for 3900. Finally, on his turn, he goes full combo and kills us, but sadly, our camera dies, so we don't get it. So yeah, as you may have noticed, I made the rookie mistake of not bringing extra batteries, so my camera died towards the end of my second round. For those of you who are curious, I did end up losing that turn. You just put on so much board pressure that I just couldn't do anything to it. As for match 3, we went against Live Twin Eldritch, I believe it was. It was a pretty good game. Unfortunately, I also lost that in 2. I'm not too familiar with the interaction points of that deck, so I think a lot of my choices were suboptimal. I definitely could have played it better, but I think it still went pretty well. And then finally, for my final game, we went against a Tri-Brigade list again. It seems to be the most popular list at my locals, and it was also a good time. Everyone I went against was super awesome and super friendly, and they were all very cool with the fact that I was trying to record their games, so I appreciate that to everyone. Yeah, it was just a great time. I'm glad I got to go. I'm excited to go again next week, and hopefully next week I will remember batteries, or at least a rechargeable battery pack, because yeah, I'd like to get you at least more than 50% of what I got. But yeah, thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you next video.